very good morning to one and all present here. Our distinguished invitee, Professor R. Radhakrishna, Chairman SES, who will be delivering the 10th Taluk Singh Memorial Lecture here today. Our very eminent guests who have made immense contribution to the field of social sciences and who have kindly agreed to come here and to have graced this occasion. Paper presenters from various parts of the country. Professor Hashim, Chairman IASSI, Professor Amitabh Kundu, Senior Research Fellow at the Delhi Policy Group, colleagues, ladies and gentlemen, I take great pleasure in welcoming you all to this national conference on urbanization in India, emerging issues, organized under the aegis of the Indian Council of Social Science Research. I'd like to mention here that this conference is special to the Institute of Public Enterprise for two reasons. We are particularly happy in the first place to host this in its Shamirpet campus, which has been a celebrated village in the 1955, where the researchers under the leadership of Professor S.C. Dubey conducted initial studies of villages. In fact, it was the first village to be studied, and about which you'll be hearing more in the sessions to come. And secondly, let me give it up to all our distinguished guests who are here to have kept us in mind, found the time. They have taken the travel, and it was, I must give it up to them, and we are extremely grateful for all their presence here today. And having said that, urbanization itself is yet another specialty. It's one of the most discussed topics these days, right from Chennai floods or air quality in Delhi, or talk about migration or smart cities or the summit in Paris. Urbanization has been an element for sure, and of course in the 2 days we are going to deliberate on more specific issues, challenges and the prospects thereof. And on this note, I welcome all of you once again, and a big round of applause to all our distinguished guests here. Let me welcome Professor Radhakrishna, Chairman SES, our distinguished invitee today, and request Professor Mishra to hand in a bouquet to him. We're extremely thankful and grateful to Professor Amitabh Kundu, Senior Fellow at the Delhi Policy Group and the Chairman of the Advisory Committee of this conference, and request Dr. Anupama to welcome sir with a bouquet. Professor Kundu. Very happy to welcome Professor Hashim, Chairman of this conference and of the Indian Association of Social Science Institutions, our collaborator in this event, and request Anupama to hand in a bouquet to sir. Professor Hashim. And also happy to have the presence of Member Secretary, Indian Association of Social Science Institutions, Professor S.K. Gupta, and request you to please receive a bouquet, sir. Welcome, a hearty welcome to you. And I request Dr. Mohanty to also present a bouquet to Professor R.K. Mishra, Chairman of this conference. Thank you very much. I now have a request to the dignitaries here. I request you to kindly proceed to light the lamp, and it'll just mark the auspicious beginning of this conference, and we will get the proceedings started then.
On your behalf.
Many thanks to our dignitaries. Thank you so much. I'm now handing over the session to Dr. Anupama.
Thank you, ma'am. It's my pleasure to join Dr. Jayashree. On behalf of IP, once again, I welcome the distinguished speakers to this gathering. It's my privilege to invite the director and the guiding force of the conference, Professor R.K. Mishra, to deliver the welcome address. Professor R.K. Mishra is on the task force panel of the Performance Management Division, Cabinet Secretariat of Government of India for evaluation of the performance of government ministries and department. He has been a management consultant to organizations including PwC, Adam Smith Institute London, and the Asian Development Bank. He has handled many assignments for many ministries of Government of India. I now request him to deliver the welcome address.
Thank you, Dr. Jayashree. Thank you, Dr. Anupma. All IPNs and friends, please join me in giving a big round of applause to Professor Radhakrishna, our chief guest, to Professor Hashim, President, to an eminent scholar, Professor Kundu, to the General Secretary, Shri Gupta ji. And also I think we should give a big clap to Dr. Jayashree and Dr. Anupma. Friends, my colleague Dr. Jayashree has already delivered the welcome address, but I don't think anybody would not like to do it again, because we have eminent persons in our midst, and the more you talk about them, the more you learn, the more you are on the path of progress. We are very eminent people. Already Dr. Radhakrishna has been introduced, an eminent scholar, an eminent economist, has given an entire life to the profession of economics. I don't think there are any committees and commissions where he has not been. Dr. Hashim has recruited top-notch bureaucrats in our country. As chairman of UPSC, he was in Planning Commission, senior advisor in Planning Commission. He was an ambassador. We always call ambassador only, but then he doesn't believe, I think, in talking of that mold. He is one of the, a very eminent scholar, and on behalf of IP, I again extend a very, very warm welcome to him. Professor Amitabh Kundu, a great scholar, I was talking to him, has extended the boundaries of so-called applied finance. He is the person who talked for the first time of the bond financing of municipalities, and I think through that he wanted to make our municipalities and Gram Panchayats autonomous institutions, because we hardly have any funds for these institutions. I think we spend about 1 to 2% of the federal budget on local level institutions. So he gave, I think, them a way as to how they can stand on their own, feet. We have, here very eminent scholars. And we have Professor Atal, I think has extended the boundaries of social sciences, has given his life to social sciences, has been working in that area, has supported many scholars in different parts of the country, in different organizations. I had a chance to work with him or meet him in Paris when he was heading the UNESCO with 6,000 people, as a part of the UN setup. And I happened to read a very interesting work done by Dr. Atal, which I think everybody should read. I think many of you might already gone through, that the story of a station master, where he has written, a sort of, biography of his own father. A very, very interesting, I think, piece of document. Otherwise, also, everyone has been knowing about the work of Professor Atal. We also have here Dr. Ravi Srivastava, again a very eminent, social scientist, known, I think, not only in India, but I think any part of the world, has been driving, I think, social science institutions in India, has been supporting, I think, scholars in the field of social sciences, is always accessible to those who take interest in that field. I think that's a great quality of professor, and we are proud of him. We have Professor Chobi here. Similarly, I think a person who has done work on, poverty indexes, who has made original contribution, I think, to the field of economics, all the time working in that area. We have Gupta ji here, we have Agrawal Sahab, we have Professor Sandhu here, we have Professor Chandrasekhar again from Indian Institute of Economic Growth, long known, I think, to everybody in that field. He has done, I think, basic work, applied work over there. He talked of retailing, I think, he talked of retail revolution. We also have Professor Sucha Singh, who have done so much work in the area of agriculture. I had the opportunity of being with him way back in Moscow in 2001-2 as a part of India's delegation to Moscow, which was headed by Professor Chadda. Professor Chadda is no more. We can, I think, remember him here. It's a good opportunity to remember Professor Chadda. So I would only say, and then we have scholars from different parts of the of our country. I'll say that it's a very important a moment for the institute, that we have eminent scholars, whose stature is so widely known everywhere in the world. They are today in the IP premises. And therefore, though you see, this academic block is only 3 or 4 story block, but it goes to 300 or 400 stories today, which is invisible, I think, because that's the power, I think, of eminent professors who are here. We are proud of him, proud of them. Friends, Professor Radhakrishna is going to talk on a very important theme today, happiness. We have been talking of economics. I had an opportunity of reading a thesis which came from South Africa only a week back on happiness. And I find that happiness, I think, is the final thing that should be there with people. We have been progressing, we have been developing. I was talking to an administrator and I was using a word development. He told, I don't want to see this. Please don't talk. People, they have, so much apathy, I think, because we say we have developed, but fruits of development have not gone to people. That is one. Number 2, we always talk about Bharat in India. That difference remains. The third thing, I think, all Piketty and all this, literature, all these books are coming, and they are saying, I think all those books point out that in India during last 5 or 10 years, or maybe since 1991, equity, I think, has been very badly influenced. Though incomes have increased, but equity has been very, badly influenced. If that be the case, what we'll listen from Professor Radhakrishna today in his inaugural address, I think that will give us so much of food for thought that will go enlightened, and then we'll think of economic development or development economics altogether, I think, in a different way. Friends, we are very grateful to you. IP is very grateful to you. As Dr. Jayashree has observed, you have come from different parts of India. Somewhere it is cold, somewhere there is darkness, somewhere there is mist. Flights are coming late, trains are not on time. You have taken all the trouble of coming over here. We can only welcome and will try to come up to your expectations as a host. Of course, I am saying that on the basis of Jayashree because I think anything that I promise here will get fulfilled. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, sir. I take this privilege to invite Professor Surendra K. Gupta to speak about the Indian Association of Social Science Institution. Professor Gupta is currently working as Member Secretary of Indian Association of Social Science Institutions, New Delhi.
Good morning, everybody. We are grateful to Professor R.K. Mishra, Director, Institute of Social Public Enterprise, Hyderabad, for offering to hold the 16th Annual Conference of IASSI at Hyderabad, and to Dr. R. Jayashree Ravindran, agreeing to be the coordinator of the conference. We are also grateful to Dr. Jahangir, who as representative of IPE in Delhi was a big help in organizing the conference. Before giving a brief introduction of IASSI, let me speak about the significance of this place called Shamirpet. The Shamirpet is an important landmark for sociologists in India, as the book titled Indian Village by S.C. Dubey, published by Routledge and Kagan-Paul, London in 1955, was an outcome of a descriptive study of the village of Shamirpet. The study was an outcome of the Social Service Extension Project, sponsored by Osmania University in 1951-52, organized by the Department of Sociology and Anthropology under the leadership of Professor S.C. Dubey, who was a part of the faculty. The place has a special association for those who were associated with Professor S.C. Dubey. In fact, Professor Yogesh Atal, who was the student of Professor Dubey, decided to come for this conference despite not keeping well, as the conference is being organized at Shamirpet campus of IPE. I have also special association with Professor Dubey as I started my teaching career with Professor Dubey at the University of Sagar. About the name of the Shamir pit, there is an interesting episode in the book. It said that about 400 years ago, there was a ruler named Ibrahim Qutub Shah, who built 3 tanks here to perpetuate his name. It was the second tank which was built this near Shamir pit. The original name was Shahapur. And this place became famous not because of Ibrahim Qutub Shah, but because of the brain of the person who built that. And that his name was Shahmir. And that then later on this, the name of the village was Shahapur was shifted to Shahmir Pet. The 3 words Shahmir Pet ultimately became Shamir Pet. And that is the significance of this village. Now, very briefly, let me tell you about the activities of Indian Association of Social Science Institutions. Indian Association of Social Science Institutions, acronymed as IASSI, is a federal formation of academic bodies involved in teaching and research in social sciences. It was founded by Shri Tarlok Singh, an ICS officer, and a group of eminent educationists and social scientists in 1979. Shri Tarlok Singh was the person who also started Planning Commission of India, and first 3 5-year plans were prepared by him. The association has at present 304 member institutions, including 140 universities, 132 research institutes, 18 government agencies, and 14 national academic associations. The organization is engaged in a number of activities. It organizes workshop in research methodology. The 10-day workshop was organized in the month of October at Christ University, Bangalore. We also organize conferences and seminars on contemporary themes and theoretical relevance in collaboration with member institutions. IASSI has also developed National Social Science Information System. Under this program, information on completed and ongoing research projects is collected, and the data is classified into society and economy related results. And we are publishing it also. IASSI also publishes a journal titled IASSI Quarterly Contributions to Indian Social Science. 4 issues in a year are published. Professor Atal is the editor-in-chief of this journal, and this is the only journal in the country which publishes all articles from all social science disciplines. Since 2006, IASSI every year organizes a lecture in the memory of late Tarlok Singh, who expired in December 2005 at the age of 92. And the first 6 lectures we have already published. Today we are going to have a 10th lecture of the series, which will be delivered by an eminent economist, Professor R. Radhakrishnan. We have also a website called www.iassi.org. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, sir. May I now invite Professor Amitabh Kundu to introduce the conference theme. Dr. Amitabh Kundu, former professor of economics at the Center for the Study